are discussing Nectar of Instruction, verse 5. That's what we are doing. So if anybody has there in the phone, Nectar of Instruction, they can see that. Verse 5. And if you don't have no problem, yeah.
Many people haven't come for the previous session.
Okay, I understand, yeah. I'll just keep it independent thing. No problem. I'm seeing there are new people also. Okay, let's see. We'll do 5, 6, and I'll explain. Hopefully, no problem. Okay, you can speak after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are discussing Nectar of Instruction, verse 5. And this is, if you want to repeat after me, you can repeat. Krishneti yasya kiritam manasa indriyeta. Dikshasti chet pranatibhischa bhajantamisham. Shushrusaya bhajana vigyamananyamanya. Nindadi shunya hridam ipsita sangalabdhaya. Okay, so Sanskrit, it's Sanskrit by the way, but the meaning is easy. I'll just be senses and then I'll start. Om Agyana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So what we are discussing is, you see in previous verses we discussed many things. But one point, if you want to know what's the theme, what we were discussing is that how to interact with devotees. Devotion is all about interaction between devotees and God. And devotion is self-centered. That's how it goes. So devotion is the art of living a life where every aspect of a life is to please Krishna. That's what is devotion. So Krishna also includes, God also includes his devotees. That's all. You can't please God and Hare Krishna. Can you just not play with that, Atharva? Keep it on the side. Devotion means not just pleasing God and displeasing devotees. Doesn't make any sense. So that's why now, if you want to live with devotees, you should know how to, Prabhupada says there, one must select proper person with proper discrimination. See, if you want to associate with devotees, the whole point is every devotee is not at same level. And that's obvious. Different devotees are at different level. There are some people who are not devotees, but they pose themselves as devotees. That's also there. So you have to, there are some gurus and swamis who pose themselves swamis, but they're not swamis. They are, Hindi mein dhongi kehte hain, dhongi? You know dhongi? Oh, Sivananthu, can you check on the YouTube if it's live coming or not? It's coming, okay. Because yesterday it's just messed up. So there are some dhongis and bogus people, and they say all crap, and it's bad time. As I was telling, they say I am God, and that's a very bad thing to say. I mean to say, people can say that people can say I'm a cheater, that we can tolerate, but if they say I'm God, that we can't tolerate. That's a bad stuff, because nobody can be God. Okay, can anybody tell me what's the difference? Why we can say that that person cannot be God? Like, how do you differentiate between a God and a normal person? What's the main difference? If somebody comes and says, hey, you know what, I'm God, surrender unto me. I am Shiva. Many people say, isn't it? South India? I am Shiva. Shiva is in me. And I am Shiva. But then the whole point is, or I am Vishnu, something. So now if you want to know whether he is God or not, how do you check? How do you know? I mean to say, even before he speaks, he's not God. That's one thing. But what's the difference between a living entity and a God? What's the main difference? If I ask you one difference.
Eternal versus temporal.
Temporary, okay.
It's always God.
God is?
Always God.
Okay, one thing Prabhupada says, God is always God. Yeah, that's a metaphorical way of saying. But okay, fine. So, but what's the difference? What's the main difference, if I ask you?
Spiritual body and material.
Living spirit, soul is spiritual.
Yes, Mark. Right?
Krishna
Yes, 𝗙𝗪𝗶𝗹𝗪 Mark.
Oh, then people can forge also. Forgery. Pondrik Vasudev, he made.
Exactly right.
Yeah, so then. Okay, so anybody?
Krishna is everywhere, but we are.
Krishna is everywhere, we are not everywhere. Okay, that is one of the difference. I'm asking what's the main difference?
Prabhuji, Krishna is humble. Whereas
Oh, come on. That's not the main difference. What's one of the main difference? Which scriptures say?
He is conscious of everything.
That's not the
Krishna
main.
can do anything.
I think the body is.
Give me evidence.
Possible, he can do.
Okay, that is okay, fine. Impossible, possible, we cannot do.
Body is made of
That can be.
He is not born in an ordinary way.
Prabhuji, his body changes, whereas Krishna's body is.
What the scripture says?
Sattvic, the three things, right?
No,
Body
nothing.
is made of-
Nothing,
God is made
no
of
sattvic, no, nothing.
Universal consciousness, God has universal consciousness.
Oh, that's a very abstract answer. What is this? Saying the same thing, conscious. Okay, what scripture says? Athato Brahma Jigyasa. And what's the next? That's all. Next verse, Vedanta Sutra. First sutra is Janmadhyasya. Bhagavatam begins with that. Janmadhyasya nevad. That's how they begin Bhagavatam. Janmadhyasya. Who is God? Who Janma Adi, who creates everything and who maintains and who destroys. We have heard this. Only He can create entire creation. There is no living entity who has any power to create anything.
How you practically.
Yeah, now how do you practically prove that? Any Swami says I am God, tell him to make a planet. Tell him, okay, make one earth. You say I am God and they show some magic here and there and this and they fool people. People are fooled very easily. In South India, there are so many cheaters. And they're fooled. But okay, fine. You say you're God, okay, fine. We don't want to do an offense against you. You're a saint. But then, okay, you have to prove yourself. So make a planet Earth and we'll accept your God. And give us a free home there. They can't do.
Even God may not do it, Prabhu, because he doesn't want to do it.
That's another question. But if he is claiming himself to be God, God doesn't claim himself to be God.
We request the Lord will not do right.
He might say, I'll not do, he'll not do. Then he's a cheater. That's all. Krishna showed his universal form.
Yeah.
Arjun said, how do I know you're God? Krishna said, okay, you want. Arjun was basically asking this question. Arjuna said, how do I know you're God? Please show your universal form. Arjuna asked this question for all of us because we might think Krishna is a cheater. He's also saying, I am a God. So then Arjuna wanted to make sure that people don't think him as a cheater. So he asked, can you show your universal form? He said, okay, here is my universal form. All planets were there in his universal form. He was destroying, he was creating every second, everything was destroyed, created, maintained. And that's why we know, that's the evidence in Gita that he's God. So you have to give evidence. You can't just speak bluff. So Mr. God, can you, so this Madhvacharya, so you know South India, Madhvacharya. So many saints, so all these Shankara followers, Mayavadis, they used to come to them and they used to say, Aham Brahmasmi, Atma Paramatma. It's all one. We are God. Okay, so Madhvacharya, you know what he used to do? He used to tell his disciples, surround him. And don't give him food. And don't let him go to bathroom. So he was surrounded. And then when he used to get pressure, he used to say, Bhaiya, I want to go to bathroom. Say, no, you're God. You should be able to control your... So I can't control. What kind of God he is? He can't even control his stool. And he says, I'm God. This is absolute crap. I'm not giving this logic. Vyasa Tirtha, Madhvacharya, Prabhupada, they give this. This logic seems simple, but they're very deep. So if anybody, the only difference between a God and a living entity is living entity cannot create. They cannot do creation and maintenance and destruction. They cannot do that. So that's one thing. But the question is, why I'm talking this? Why I'm speaking this?
You asked about the previous verses, what's the devotees?
So?
How to interact with God and other people. Start.
Oh really? So I don't know why we came here.
We were talking about if we want to please God, then we cannot make devotees unhappy, and from there
Okay.
we went into this topic.
How did we go into this topic? I don't
You
know.
asked us
You're
God.
crazy. Okay, I just asked. I became mad. Huh? Space out. It's a good question, but you should know, because otherwise you'll get cheated. You know, people are real fools in Kali Yuga. They can't even see what's truth, what's not truth. Primarily because of ignorance, no knowledge. That's the whole idea. People have not read their books. People have not read their own Bhagavad Gita, own Vedas. So they have no idea, and then they think and they do something. And then cheaters come and they take advantage of that. That's all. They take advantage of the ignorance of people. That's how it goes. So, okay, this is about God. Now, Prabhupada says, okay, so you have, this is the point. You have to select a person with careful discrimination. That's what I was talking about. If you want to have good association, you should have a discriminatory power to select whom to associate, whom not to associate. Okay, so now you have got the answer here. If you want to select a devotee who is a proper, sincere devotee, not these bogus dhongi gurus, that's what I was talking about, who claim themselves God. So how do you differentiate between cheaters and between true devotees, and even within true devotees who is new and who is advanced? What's the main thing? How can you differentiate? One thing you need to differentiate and to have discriminatory power. What's that? What happened? You're sleeping or what? It's a simple question.
Before you told Prabhu this.
I told, that's why I'm asking you.
How they
I
react
told.
to
No, I need to
Okay,
say,
how-
how do you discriminate? What do you need? One main thing.
How studied they are in the scriptures? How knowledgeable?
Okay, knowledge. How much knowledge they have and how much knowledge you have. You should have knowledge to discriminate. If you don't have knowledge, you cannot discriminate. It's simple as that. It's not magic. So some devotee can come and say, Prabhuji, that devotee is so advanced. Okay, how do you know? Oh, actually, I feel like that. What's feeling? Actually, he came to my home and we hugged each other and it was so nice. And that's why he's advanced. Doesn't make any sense. Anybody can say anything. So we don't judge like that. Vivek, discrimination in Sanskrit is called Vivek. And Vivek, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the only thing which makes a devotee difference, the only thing which gives a difference between devotees is their knowledge. And the whole point of that is Shastra Nipun. You know this word, Shastra Nipun? This word comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. A devotee, the more he is expert in knowledge of scriptures, the more he will be able to discriminate properly what is darkness, what is light, what is ignorance, what is knowledge, what is vidya, what is avidya, and who is a devotee and who is not a devotee. Only then you can do, otherwise you can't recognize, it's impossible. And by the way, in scriptures they say to consider a non-devotee a devotee. To consider a devotee a non-devotee. That's really bad, isn't it? But the other way is also like that. To consider a non-devotee a devotee. That's even worse. And so it's very important to understand what is the status of all devotees. Okay, so now if you have discriminatory power and if you apply your intelligence, if you read scriptures properly, then you will know that you can categorize devotees into 3 categories. All, like you're all sitting here, so I can divide you in 3 groups. I can do that according to this verse. So I can put you one group here, one group there, one group there. I can do that, and you can do that after this lecture. So basically, there are 3 categories of devotees. So what are those? Anybody? Kanishta, Madhyam, and, or you can say first class, second class, and like that. First class devotee, second class devotee, third class devotee, like that. So all are devotees, but they're first class, second class, and third class. So, so what is the difference between them? Now that's the whole point. So what is the difference between first class, second class, third class? What makes them different? I just told. Knowledge. That's all. Keep in mind that's knowledge. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says it's knowledge. Knowledge doesn't mean cramming verses here. Knowledge means he knows scriptures, he understands this, and he applies it. That is Shastra Nipun. And one thing is there, he's expert in discussing scriptures. That's very important. I mean to say, the more knowledgeable he is, the less chances of being confused. He has worked it out. He has studied them properly. So that is called knowledge. That makes the only difference. So if, I mean to say, you can be 20 years, 30 years, 40 years in devotion, and you can say, I am doing puja and sandhya every day. But if you tell me like that, I'll not come to conclusion you are a devotee. No saint, no true saint will come to that conclusion. We just want to know how much you have read books. And okay, even if you're not heard, if you haven't read, how much you have understood the subject. So what saints? Saints, it's very easy to understand. As a saint, we can understand who is on what platform. You know how? We just talk to him for 2 minutes, ask them some questions, and if he doesn't know, we understand what level he is. Every saint. So if you go to Udupi, anybody knows Udupi here? You go to Udupi Madhva Sampradaya, all those Swamijis, you go to Srirangam, Sri Vaishnavas, they will simply ask you some questions and they will understand where he is, and then they will interact accordingly. If you are new devotee, if you are third class devotee, third class means Kanisht, new. If they ask you some questions, okay, who is God? And if you don't know answer, and you say, oh, everybody is God, and God is so nice and He is so good, then you know what they will do? Then they will understand you are somewhere down there. So what they will do, they'll not shout at you, of course. What they will do is, they will bring laddu and give it to you and bye-bye. Because you are thinking, you want to come and discuss and that, and you don't know even basics. You know. If Prahlad comes to me, and Prahlad says, okay, I want to discuss calculus. Prahlad, you know what's calculus? Okay, he heard from somewhere calculus. And he comes and he says, I want to discuss calculus with you. What I'll do with him? Yeah, laddu. Do you like chocolate? What do you like? Okay, chocolate. So I'll give you chocolate, and this is your calculus, and goodbye. Or what else you can do? What's happening?
Next time if somebody gives laddu, we have to be
Can you just take that kartal, Prabhu? Why do you want to keep that there? Yeah, just leave it. Then what are you saying?
Sometimes somebody gives you a laddu, next time the gift we will be careful.
Actually, yeah. Actually, seriously, if Swamiji gives you laddu, this means he has understood. Yeah, he has understood your laddu. Yeah, your laddu. That's laddu Gopal. It's like, by the way, it's like that. I'm telling you inside secret because we are ourselves, saints now, and I've associated with so many swamis for so many years. In Udupi, I did my MBBS, medical, Manipal College, and there we used to meet all these swamis, Admart, Puthegemat, and all these swamijis, and we used to go daily, talk to them. Then they were very intimate with us. And then after becoming even brahmachari, I was staying there. I was preaching there. So in this dress, so then they really mixed with us because same, no. And then we understood what's happening actually. So the Swamiji used to tell that we give laddu to those people. We don't really want to mess with them. Just take prasad and go. What to discuss with them? How to discuss? They even understand. They don't know basics. How to discuss? How to start the conversation? So you can't do that. So that's what you do with new devotees. And if it is so, by asking you can know easily. So don't judge a devotee by how many years he's there. You can't do that. He may be 20 years, 40 years, he can be doing it. You see South India, so many people do Sandhya Vandan. They do very sincerely, they do. It's good. Because I have lived in South India for 8 years, so. And their puja, regular, everything is there. But if you see their personal lives, they have the same old habits. What's this? What's this? Okay, something. Oh, phone call. Achha. I thought some Hindu music is there.
But some people may not have knowledge, but they have deep love for the Lord.
How do you know that?
Their actions.
What actions? There can be exceptions. But the whole point is people who have love for God, automatically they will, knowledge will be revealed to them. They will understand things. There can be exceptions, I'm not saying. But we don't put exceptions in a definition. Am I right? So you don't do that. Generally, Krishna says in Gita, what's that verse? Tishame banukam partam aham agyanam chamtama. Who are my devotees and who are in love with me, I don't let them remain in ignorance. You see, for example, in North India, there is a devotee, Mirabai. You know Mirabai? She didn't study anything, and she became a great devotee, at least. And then she sang many songs, and it's full of philosophy. Everything was revealed to her. I mean, we don't really consider her at par excellence, but she was a devotee. And automatically, Surdas, North India, you're mostly South Indians, no? So you don't understand. Surdas, no? Okay. He was blind. And when he sang, full of knowledge, because he was in love. So people who are in love with God, automatically they speak truth when they speak. That's how it goes. So knowledge is there. They understand things, basic and advanced. Gaur Kishoras Babaji, Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to ask him, he was illiterate, Gaur Kishoras Babaji. Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to ask him so many times, he used to give perfect answers to the point. So, okay, so you got my point. So if you want to become advanced, what do you do? If you don't want to remain third class devotee, if you want to become second class and first class devotee, what do you do?
Discuss the teacher and take knowledge.
Yeah, you need knowledge, that's all. That's all you have to do. And then you can advance. Okay, so how to behave with such devotees? Okay, third class devotee. What's a third class devotee? A third class devotee in Sanskrit is called as neophyte. Oh, sorry, English. English is called neophyte. In Sanskrit he is called as Kanishtha. Kanishth. Oh, actually, Mataji, can you keep these bottles? Just Hare Krishna. Just don't take bottles. No. It's just here, why do you want to drink in between? For 1 hour, Control your thirst and hunger. That we are teaching how to control also. If 1 hour you can't do, then what's the point, How do you learn anything? You don't get knowledge like that. In America, there are some programs. I went to a university program, and the system was that they will take dinner and they will keep on eating and hearing. You have seen that sometimes? You keep on eating and then hear, and it's, at least for a speaker, it looks very funny. Like I was speaking and they were eating and they were. I was feeling as if they were saying, "Oh yeah, speak on." Yeah, we are hearing. As if I'm like a entertainer, yeah. That's a feeling. It's quite funny. In a Vedic tradition, it's not like that. If you go to any Vedic tradition, if you go to any Gurukul, the student cannot, the eating and drinking, it's forget it, he's out of the class. They will not teach him. Whole life they will not teach him. And he can't even move. And if you go traditional Gurukul Pathshalas, they can't move. They can't talk. They're very strict because a transmission of knowledge takes place when the hearer is perfectly focused. That's how it goes. So, okay. So, let's talk third class, second class, first class devotee. We're talking about that, okay? So, third class devotee is called Kanishtadhikari. Kanisht means new devotee. Now, what is a new devotee? Now, new devotee is a person who has faith, but who has no knowledge. He has faith, okay, fine. He comes to programs. He might sometimes chant, sometimes not chant. He has faith. At least he understands who is God. And at least this point is clear, who is God. And he has faith, okay, I should surrender to God. So that's a new devotee who at least understands Krishna is God. There is no other God than Krishna. All other deities are demigods, for example, angels, but Krishna is God, supreme person, or Vishnu, Krishna, one same thing. And who knows that the aim of life is to do devotion to him. Other things are secondary. At least this much he has faith. And Gita and Vedas are supreme scriptures. Okay, but the whole point is, the missing point is he has not read his books, doesn't have knowledge. And because he doesn't have knowledge, his faith is weak. That's the point. That is called Komal Shraddha. His Shraddha is, you understand this Komal Shraddha? It's Komal, it's soft. So the whole point is, because his faith is weak, he can be confused very easily. That's the whole point. So today he hears, hey Prahlad. He's like a mouse, huh? How he came from there today? You should sit there now. Okay. I get disturbed actually. So just keep on sitting now. So that's called, Komal Shraddha. Your faith is very soft. It can be molded. So people at this third class stage, devotees, new devotees, they can be confused very easily. So we speak something, and then some other person comes, he speaks, okay, from now, okay, you heard Krishna, Vishnu is God, but now I say I am God. So they say, oh yeah, it can be. And then we get confused. And then some other Swami comes, he says, no, 𝗪𝗪 is God. Yeah, 𝗪𝗪, something. What is 𝗪𝗪? But he's God. And the people are crazy, people can say anything. People are like that.
Very easily influenced.
Very easily influenced, yeah, very easily. And some person other will say, okay, forget this devotion, come to meditation, we'll teach you meditation. And do here, yeah, whatever, and this, and then they'll say, oh, that is also nice, meditation is good. Then they will go there. They will, so half doing this, half doing that, some half-baked things, and fully khichdi. So that's why new devotees, I call them khichdi. I don't call them third class devotee or neophyte. Better, they are like khichdi. But they have faith, little faith. That spark is there. If that is developed, if they are careful and if they don't get lost and they don't get confused, if they regularly come to classes and they read their books, and chant, they can elevate to second class. Otherwise, they go down. And they become confused. Now, even below third class, some devotees are there. This is we are talking about third class devotee, neophyte. Even below that, people are there. Like normal Hindu, they go to temples. So they have some kind of faith in religion because they're going to temple, of course. They are not like pakka atheist. Going to temple, some kind of faith in religion and deities. But the whole point is, who are they? I mean to say, should we call them devotees?
They're pious people, not devotees.
Yeah, they're pious. They're not devotees, because devotee is a person who understands first thing who is God. That should be clear. Otherwise, he's not a devotee. He's not a devotee. Whose devotee you are? Everyone's. What's that point? He even doesn't understand A, B, C, D. So they are not devotees. They are pious people. They come to temple and they have no idea who is God. I mean to say, you see, most of the Hindus who go to temple, they actually don't care whose deity it is. Am I right? You put Ganesha, Shiva, Durga and all these deities, and they don't care actually. Actually, if they go to temple and they'll do pranama, they'll put some flower, whatever. And if in the night you remove the deity and you put somebody else, they will even not notice that. They'll come do their stuff and go back. Seriously, I've seen that. They don't care who is there. They just go pranam, come back, and that's this age, I have one of my devotee, one of my friend in Baroda. We were in Baroda. So he told us, okay, let me show you one thing. So what's happening? So he took us on the main road and he put a tin can. He put it ulta, upside down, and then he started going around it, and he put some like 10 rupees on that, going around, and after every round he was doing like this, and then some people came. What happened? And he said, "Oh, this is, if you go around it, all your desires will be done, and there is special power in this can." So in 1 hour, 50 people were going around there. Just 1 hour. He was a foreigner. He was showing, this is what is happening. 50 people, and then they were doing like this and doing like this. Like South India, they do like this. So if you go to Balaji, you have gone. I've gone so many times to Balaji. There's so many people come and do it. Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. What they say? Enda Govinda. What they say? I forgot what they say.
Govinda.
What's that?
I don't know.
Yeah, something like this.
The 7 hills.
Oh, that's so what do you call that? Oh, Edi Kundala. Oh, we couldn't understand anything. So we used to say Enda Ganda Govinda. We used to think something they are saying. We couldn't really understand but okay, that's what they used to say. But it's all ritual. They don't really care for, Balaji, and they care for money. Most of them are coming to profit themselves because they know Balaji doubles money. They know, everybody knows in South. They just solve problems and whatever, so they come.
They come for partnership.
Yeah, most of them, you're right actually. They come for partnership, most of them.
But Prabhuji, whatever reason they come, they worship Supreme Personality of God.
No, South Indians, no.
Balaji.
No.
No, but when they go to Balaji temple.
Yeah, when they go to Balaji, they want Balaji. When they go to Talaji, they want Talaji. When they go to Kalaji, they want Kalaji. They change. They keep on changing. That's the whole point. They have no understanding what they're doing. It's like that, no?
Prabhuji,
So-
one question. As a devotee, is it even right to ask for some worldly thing when you approach God? So is it a problem with the devotee or the process? Something like I think.
There's a problem with the person. Why do you want to ask something to? What do you want to ask him? Oh Krishna, give me $1 billion.
So
Balaji, $1 billion. Balaji will say, $1 billion, you just want this much? I wanted to give you whole universe. I wanted to give you myself. Asking 1 billion, you are fool. So asking anything from God, material thing, it's like asking peanuts from Trump. Oh yeah, you had a special meeting with Trump. And then you manage the meeting and Trump says, okay, now what do you want? I want peanuts. You're going to asylum then. Mad prison house. That's the whole point. If you're mad, that person is mad if he does like that. So people who go to God and ask something stupid stuff, material things, it's like asking God peanuts. We are not even having sanity. We're mad. That's the whole point there. Nunam pramata kurute vikarmaha. That's why Sukhdev says people are mad. So nobody appreciates that. Okay, so you understand third class devotee? You understand? So that's so third class devotee is not a normal Hindu. That's the whole point. At least he understands Krishna is supreme. Krishna is God. Krishna and Vishnu is the same thing. That's all. Others, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Lord Ganesh, Lord Durga, the Indra, Vayu, Varun, Agni, these are all demigods. Devta. Vishnu and Krishna, nobody can be equal to them, nobody can be superior to them. Natat samas abhidekascha vidyate. Upanishad says, there is nobody equal, nobody greater than them. Everybody is their servant. So this much he is clear. He has faith. And he has faith, I should surrender my life to God. That's my priority. To love, to attain love of God, that's my priority. Other things are secondary. Okay, fine. So we can ask him, have you read Gita? I have not read Gita, but I have this faith. I have heard devotees and I understand this and I want to follow this. And he will chant the holy names of Krishna, this Hare Krishna, and that's all. Okay, so he's a third class neophyte, a new devotee, but he's in a dangerous condition. Is it? He's in a dangerous position. Why? Because he can be confused because he doesn't have conviction, doesn't have knowledge. So it's very important to raise ourselves from third class to at least second class devotee we should be. So what's the second class now? Devotee. So second class devotee is who has, now you can tell me, who has knowledge of scriptures, therefore he has strong faith. He can't be confused. Yeah, firm faith. So he has knowledge, he has read Gita, he has understood Gita, he has read Bhagavat, he has read scriptures, and he exactly knows, and he can also argue. If there's a debate, he can win the argument. That much knowledge he has. He can do that in a very ordinary sense. If somebody comes and says, okay, this is this, he can convince them and he can have a debate and he can tell, no, this is not right. According to scriptures, this is this. He can quote shlokas and he can say, okay, this. So that's a second class devotee. So at least we should be like that, isn't it? Otherwise, we'll get confused. So we should, that's Madhyamadikari. So he has Shraddha, Drid Shraddha. You see, strong, firm faith, Drid Shraddha. And he is having Shastra Gyan. You understand these terms, no? He's second class. So, okay.
Can you say he has understanding in second level?
Yeah, he has. Madhyam. Madhyam can also become a guru. Madhyamadikari. So Madhyamadikari also, there's a band. So we are talking about, he has understand. As much better understand. At least this much that he will not get confused. At least this much. Like we all are Madhyamadikaris. So at least this much we don't get confused and we know our stuff. At least this much. Okay. And then there is topmost devotee. First class devotee. Uttamadikari. And okay, who is he? Can anybody tell me? Who is the first class devotee?
Who has the knowledge, who can apply that knowledge. And strong faith.
Okay, who can apply that knowledge?
Realize the knowledge.
Can influence other people.
Okay, one thing. Uttamadikari, the word uses Shastra Nipun. Madhyamadikari, the word uses Shastra Gyan. What is expert? Nipun means he can debate with scholars and defeat them. Just like for example, Ramanuja Chare, he had many debates with Shaivites because South India Shaivism and Vaishnavism. Ramanuja was a Vaishnav, and he had so many debates with Shaivites and big Vaishnavs, big Shaivites, scholars, and he defeated them. So Madhvacharya, he was a Vaishnav, and he had so many discussions with Shankara followers, Mayavadis. He defeated them. Trivikram Panditacharya, he was a big scholar at that time. Shobhan Bhatt, his name was. He was such a big scholar, Shankara follower, Advaitvadi, and he came to Madhva had a discussion. He just finished all his arguments. So you see that kind of caliber they have. And these first-class devotees, they can change people's life. They have such power in them and such knowledge. They can influence people. And the Madhyamadikari can also do, but Uttamadikari, they can do. So that's Shastra Nipun. Now also Uttamadikari can, you know what he does? You see, Kanishtadikari, new devotee, he gets confused when somebody else says something. He can get confused, am I right? Okay, this person says this. Now Madhyamadikari, he has knowledge, but he becomes confused when he finds contradictory instructions in scriptures. Now, this is not anybody saying. Scriptures are saying themselves. Sometimes some instructions, another time totally opposite instructions. So Madhyamadikari is not so Shastra Nipun. He can get confused. But first class devotee, he never gets confused. Like for example, scriptures, Veda says that, okay, let's take an example. The technical example is, I think Rig Ved or Yajur Ved. Yeah, Rig Ved, I think it says, so there's a specific kind of yagya. It has to be done in the morning. And yagya is given in morning and procedure. Now Yajur Ved says that yagya should be done in the evening. It cannot be done in the morning. Which is correct. Both are spoken by Vedas. Now this is not third person speaking. Kanishta is confused because Veda speaks something and people speak something. Now here scriptures are saying two entirely different things, and Madhyamadikari, because he's not expert in scriptures, he'll not be able to harmonize. And that's the whole point. First class devotee has a power of harmonization. He can read two contradictory statements and he can harmonize and come to conclusion. Okay, that says morning, this says evening, so what I'm supposed to do? So you can come up with some answer. But ordinary devotee, he'll not be able to do that. You understood? So that means Shastra Nipun. That harmonizing power first class devotee has. So that's why you see so many people who write commentaries on scriptures. You see commentaries? Who write commentaries? Third class, second class, first class? First class, because commentaries, what they're doing, they're trying to harmonize various quotations from scriptures which are seeming contradictory. And that's a very important thing, and always it happens. In Gita, if you read Gita, there are so many contradictory statements. Krishna says something somewhere, something, another thing Krishna says something else. It seems very contradictory. Krishna says, right in first few chapters of Gita, see, everybody must work, and work is so important, but work without results. But then in the last few chapters of Gita, he says, well, if you can leave everything, leave everything. Sannyas. And completely do devotion. Now it seems different. There he says, well, if you work, but you work according to dharma, but then in the end he says, Sardharman, you leave everything. So it's totally contradictory. Then if you can say to Krishna, if you wanted to tell us leave everything, then why you are speaking so many big Gita? You could have first told this and everything gone. But it seems Krishna says once, so there's one more verse in Bhagavad Gita. Bhakti mama vijanati 𝗙𝗲𝗪𝗀 sagunan samtityan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Krishna says, if you do devotion to me, you will go beyond modes of material nature. Rajagun, Tamagun, Satagun. Now here he says, In 18th chapter, he says, Brahmbhuta prasana atmana shoshati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktin lavate param. Krishna says, if you go beyond material nature, modes of material nature, then you come in contact with me. Then you can do devotion to me. There are two contradictory statements. First, he says, if you do devotion to me, you will go beyond modes. Guna. There he says, if you go beyond guna, then you will be able to do devotion to me. So what you should do? First you should do devotion, or first you should go beyond the Rajagun, Tamagun? It's two different instructions. So Acharya's right commentary, how to harmonize them. That is first class devotee. So that is Uttamadhikari. And because he has such a deep knowledge, that's why he can guide others. He can take disciples. And he has absolutely firm faith. Nobody can confuse him, nobody can move him. Even if the whole world, Bhaktisanta used to say, even if the entire world becomes non-devotee and they say Krishna is not God, I will not accept that. That kind of faith they have. But that faith is based on knowledge. You see the point? It's not sentimental. Okay, so if okay, let me ask you. If some devotee comes to you and he says, Prabhu, I have very firm faith and strong faith in Krishna. And what do you tell him?
Read the scripture.
I mean to say, he tells, like, Prabhuji, I have very strong faith, I can die for Krishna, everything is Krishna, and this and that, and this and that. Are you impressed or not?
It's sentimental.
No.
It is?
Sentimental.
Okay, how do you know that? Yeah, it can be sentimental. So people can speak many things, but then if he has not read scriptures, then his whole statement is very sentimental. That's like it. It's a very sentimental statement. You see, Krishna says to Uddhav, if there's a fire in a forest and you desire that fire should stop, will fire stop? And if you shout for help in a forest fire, will anybody save you? Even if people are hearing, they will not come to save you. It's a forest fire. Nobody will come, it's waste. So Krishna similarly says to Uddhav, people who don't have scriptural knowledge, a base, they can shout, they can speak, and they can sing songs and bhajans, but that voice will not reach me. Just like a man shouting in the forest fire, his voice doesn't reach anybody, nobody comes to save him, it's waste. If you shout in your dreams, what happens? Will anybody listen to you?
The person sleeping next.
He will also not be able to listen. It's waste, it's absolutely waste. In dreams you are shouting loudly, nobody hears. If there's a fire in your dreams and you're shouting, help me, nobody can hear, only you can hear. Similarly, people who don't have knowledge and who don't have wisdom of scriptures, they can shout, they can shout even God's name, but it doesn't reach to ears of God. It doesn't go. So you see, that is why the most important thing is, what's the most important thing? Yeah, keep in mind. Why scriptures are saying again and again knowledge? Why they are saying this? Okay. If suppose I tell to, what's her name? Nimai. If I tell to Nimai, never speak lies. So what does that mean?
Speak always the truth.
No, what does it mean?
Speak always the truth.
Some instruction.
That means he speaks.
Yeah, means he speaks sometimes lies. That's why I have to tell him. Means he speaks lies. That's why I have to tell him never speak lies. I mean to say, nobody will come and tell me never speak lies, because as a saint, we don't speak, for example. Or maybe Harishchandra, you know Harishchandra? He was a truthful man. Nobody will go and tell him don't speak lies. That injunction is useless for him because he is truthful. So the fact I am telling you never speak lies, this means either you speak lies or I have a fear that you will speak lies. You will turn out like that. So I have to tell you again and again, isn't it? So, so that's a point there. What's the point? Hare Krishna. What's the point? What I'm telling? I just lost.
Knowledge is the most important.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah. So that's why scriptures have to tell you. That's why I have to tell you again and again. Take knowledge. Take knowledge. Take knowledge. Why?
You're not reading or you're...
Because people are not interested to take knowledge. They're not interested. Absolutely not interested. Or there is a fear that they will keep on doing devotion and never take knowledge. And that's what happens. And that is why they're again and again pressing this point. Shastra Nipun, Shastra Gyan. They know people will do everything except reading books and taking knowledge. Except that, everybody does everything.
Generally in this age, very few people read books.
Yeah. First of all, people have lost habit of reading books. First of all, yeah. They want to see videos. And that's okay. If there's knowledge, that's okay. But books are out of fashion. And people, that taking knowledge is out of fashion now. Nobody wants knowledge. People want entertainment, and that's what. It's become like that, no?
No, knowledge taking is there, but the form has changed. Yeah. Reading has become less. And
No,
hearing, check.
No. In normal word also, who cares? Yeah, who cares for knowledge? I mean, people, वो क्या कहते हैं, जुगाड़ बस वो है कि if they can earn money and they can do things, who cares for anything? As a doctors, like we doctors, once you start practice, you don't read anything. It's over. You're getting your money, patients, done. Nobody updates himself. It just keeps on going. Yeah, seriously, that's like that. Because काम चल रहा है. As your IT people also, whatever you studied in college, ठीक है, हो गया. Now in company you are there. Your some things protocol is happening. You're getting your money. Who cares for anything else? That system of knowledge, youths, they don't care for knowledge. Of course, they are in video games, computer. Am I right? Youths are like that. They have to read because parents are on top of them.
Yes.
But from inside, they have nothing for knowledge. It's just video games, wasting time, and that's all. Or maybe video games or extracurricular activities. People are so enthusiastic, isn't it? Swimming pool, karate. What taekwondo? Yeah. What taekwondo will do? One person will come with gun and you can do shoo and okay, good. Bye. Your taekwondo is not going to help you.
Knowledge also will learn anything.
Yeah. No, actually, in when I was young, I learned kung fu. So I was a black belt at that time. So my teacher was teaching. Then I asked my teacher, if I am learning kung fu, but if 4 people come with guns, then what I am supposed to do? Then all my kung fu fails. So I was little intelligent, so I thought, let me not learn kung fu, let me learn how to shoot. So I switched from kung fu to 𝗙𝗵𝐶. They were 𝗙𝗵𝐶, so they learned shooting. I thought that will at least save me. This thing is like gimmicks, In fact, all these children, they learn taekwondo, kung fu, but they're so so timid people. In fighting, this doesn't work, by the way. No kung fu, no, nothing will happen. If you fear, you're lost. If you're afraid, you're gone. Nothing will help you. So that was the first teaching to me. My kung fu teacher, he was very nice. So he told, you see, I'm teaching you something, but main thing is don't get afraid. If you get afraid, you do anything, you will be defeated. Nothing is going to happen. So so knowledge, there's all these extracurricular activities which have no use, it's just waste of time. तो उसको क्या कहते हैं, समय बिताने के लिए करना है कुछ काम, शुरू करो अंताक्षरी लेके प्रभु का नाम. They are saying in Hindi. You understand South Indians? I don't know how to.
That's how the game starts. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to speak in English. I mean to say, just to pass time, you have to do something. There is absolutely no concept of knowledge, of learning something which is useful for life. That's not there. Absolutely not there. In previous ages, it was there. People were learning which was useful in their life. But now,
I have a question.
yeah.
Knowledge, somehow, I feel, it's my personal opinion, knowledge makes me proud. It increases my pride.
Well, real knowledge will make you humble. This means you're not getting knowledge. This means you're getting misunderstandings and not knowledge. Real knowledge will make, Vidya Vinaya Sampanna. Real knowledge will make you humble. If we all feel, any one of us, that by not getting knowledge, we are getting proud, this means you're not getting knowledge. You are not being trained by God. You are now being trained by devil. There is a problem. The source is different. So you have to check it out, what's happening. So all of us, any one of us, we have to be careful. So, all of us, we have to be careful because knowledge can bring pride if we are not careful. But because then we tend to go in wrong knowledge and wrong conceptions. True conception will never bring pride. It will make you humble. Okay, so that's what it goes. So now you see 3 classes of devotee, it's clear? So okay, I'll end up here, but the whole point is, the last point, what this verse is, how to interact with them. Now you can discriminate. Fine? When everybody comes to you, now you can know whether it's 3rd class, 2nd class, 1st class, or below 3rd class. And how will you know what you do? Yeah, ask him some questions. And within 2 minutes, you will know what is he. You can ask him who is God. And if he says Krishna, okay, good. Then okay, fine. And have you read Gita? If he says yes, okay. How many times? If he says, I've read 2 times. And so then this means he's somewhat in 2nd class. In general, when you ask more, you will come to know. But if he says, I have not read books, and then he's nowhere. He's 3rd class then. So, and 1st class devotee? 1st class devotee anyway, he will ask you, he will not ask you. He will come to know who is 1st class. That's going to happen. So, okay, so how do you behave with them? You have to interact with them differently, isn't it? 1st class, there are different levels, no? So different. So how do you interact with 3rd class devotee? Suppose if you find there's a new devotee, and I mean to say, many people come to program, new people come and they have faith, that's why they are coming, they like to hear, okay, fine. Sometimes they may not understand who is God, they are like normal pious Hindu, and suppose if you invite somebody in your home, so your friend, he is pious Hindu, so he is even below 3rd class. So how do you behave with him? Or maybe 3rd class devotee who has faith, who is new, who is chanting, and who read Gita, who thinks Krishna is supreme. How do you behave with him? 2nd class with us, and 1st class. How do you behave? Okay, fine, tell me. Should there be difference of behavior or not?
Yes.
Or you believe in communism? Everybody is same. America? Everybody is equal. Respect everybody. America is like that, isn't it? But Vedic culture is not like that. We respect everybody, but there is a difference of respect. And it has to be there. You can't keep everybody same. It's not a good idea. So how do you behave with, say, 3rd class devotee, a neophyte, a new devotee? What do you do with them?
You connect them to
Give him knowledge.
Give him?
Knowledge.
Okay, Krishneti yasyetam giritam mansanasayindriyeta. The first thing is, you respect them, respect everybody, but there's a difference in respect. That's what I'm telling. If there's a new devotee, you respect him, but respect him mentally. That's how it goes. 2nd class devotee, you pay respect, But there's a difference. Now you don't do respect mentally, you do physically. Like we pay obeisance. That's how you should do. Physically you have to express. New devotees, mentally you can do. Okay. Now suppose I come, somebody pays obeisance to me. I might not pay obeisances back. Because they're new and I can do. And it's good for me. But I might not do. Why? Why I might not do?
They might get fucked up.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I mean to say, if I also do, if they're also doing, then you know what happens, because people are new. Then what happens is they might think slowly that okay, I'm not new. Everybody's going down. So there can be problems like that. Or they lose respect for that person. Because everybody came on some same platform, no? They're paying obeisance, everything. So then it's same platform, generally familiarity brings contempt. You know this, no? So that's why generally saints, Swamijis, they don't pay respect back. You've seen? No, they don't do. It's not that they're proud. They're not proud, but they're doing for the benefit of others. Because if they pay obeisances, then it's more likely that they will also take their instructions. So it will benefit them. Otherwise, everybody pays, they also pay, then many people will think, oh, okay, fine, what's the difference between him and us, and creates a problem there. So that's why they don't do. So mentally you do, new devotees, respect. You can say Hare Krishna like that. That you can say. But to second class devotee, you have to pay obeisance. You have to physically go down. You know that, no? Like we do, just like you were doing, go down and pay obeisance. That's a good thing. Why? Because we are not paying obeisances to that person. Whom we are paying obeisance? Yeah, Krishna is there in new devotee also. To Jnana, to Shastra, to the Shastra Jnana which is there in him. We are paying respect to that. And it is, I mean to say, we should also, because that person has done some efforts and he has spent so much time to understand scriptures and apply it. That's laudable, am I right? So we are paying respect to that. And first class devotee, what do you do? How do you behave? What do you do with him? So it says, Shushrushya bhajana vigyam ananyamanya nadidushya hridayam hipsati sankalabdhya. With that devotee who's first class, what do you do? What do? You ask him questions. That's a respect. That is his respect. If you ask him questions. Sangalabdhaya. Desire his association. That's what it goes. One should associate with faithful and so pure devotees, isn't it? You should ask questions and serve them. Serve them means whatever they say, try to follow. That's first class, second class, third class. So you should know, you should deal like that. So, okay. This is in summation. This is what it's all about. Is there any questions now? I pretty much told many things there.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How do you know what kind of devotee you are without anybody asking you any questions?
You means
As in yourself.
yourself. How do you know what kind of devotee we are ourselves? Well, you can know by the level of knowledge you have. If you have read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and scriptures, then automatically you come to second class. If you have not read, then if you have not read books, no matter whatever we are thinking, I mean to say, suppose we have not read books, but then we think, oh, actually, I'm getting so much sentiments for Krishna, and in dreams I see Krishna's flute. People are like that, no? No matter what happens with you, still we are third class. if you have not read books. Even if Krishna comes to you, still you're third class. Because God, to meet God, it's not a big thing. Even Raman met Ram, but he was a demon. So even if Krishna comes to you and he embraces you and he says, I just came to you to meet you from spiritual world, and then you might think, I am a great devotee, isn't it? Then I am first class devotee because Krishna came to meet me. No, that's not the point. Point is scriptures. How much you know. Because we don't know why Krishna came to meet you. He might have his own logics. Sometimes Krishna comes to meet somebody not because he is pure and not because he is first class devotee. He might come to meet this person to not actually meet this person, but to give message to others. He might be using you to give message to others. That might happen because in Shastras it comes actually one female, she was a great devotee and God gives darshan to her. And she was thinking, God has given darshan to me, like what pious activity I have done, what devotion I have done that God, she asked God, what I have done, what devotion I have done that you are giving darshan to me. So God told her woman, I am not giving darshan to you because you are a perfect devotee. I am giving darshan to you because I want to use you to fulfill my purpose. So don't think that you are a perfect devotee, that's why I am giving. To benefit others I am doing. So we don't know what he's doing. We actually don't know. He might give you darshan to confuse you also. He can do that or not? Tell me. Or you might say, no, God will not do with me like this. It doesn't happen. He might give darshan to confuse you. He might give darshan to you to confuse you so that you start thinking you are a devotee. But you are not. And you know why he will do? He has so many reasons. We can't understand what he's doing. Absolutely. So that's why scripture says, okay, if you want to know where you are, judge by knowledge. And if you want to know your first class devotee, then have a debate with a scholar. Come and talk to me and I will, if you defeat me, then maybe you are a little bit, little above second class. That's how you know, by the way. That's why there was Shastrarth. You know this? In olden days, there was Shastrarth. Shastrarth, you know? What do we say in English? Yeah.
Debates.
Yeah, debate. Actually, there's a particular term for that.
Sadas.
Huh?
Sadas.
Sadas? Oh, Tamil. Yeah. In Sanskrit, it's called something. I forgot that. Shastrarth. So they used to have that. That's how you know who is Acharya, who is first class. Yeah, Tark, you can say like that. Yeah.
Ashtavadana, like 8 people.
Yeah, Vad. It is called Vada. Or maybe Ashtavadanam or 100 are there. It's called Vada basically. Or which kind of Vada I forgot. There are different type of Vadas. I just forgot that. Anyway. So is it okay? Fine? Okay, so what else you want to ask? Or, yeah.
Sometimes if Krishna comes and gives darshan, you might get the knowledge, like Dhruva got knowledge.
Yeah, if he wants that, he should get knowledge. If he doesn't want, then he will not get. He can give darshan, but then...
Ravana was well versed in Shastra, so how do you say that?
Ravana, how do you know?
They say he was a Pandita in the
They, who they?
In
It's
Ravana,
mentioned.
No, Ramayana is not there. But nevertheless, he was a scholar type person. He knew, he had knowledge. He was a Brahman. He was a Brahman family. His father is Kubera. So that, okay. But the whole point is, how much spiritual knowledge he has from scriptures, we don't know. He took all material knowledge. From 𝗙𝗲𝗪, Yajurveda, all mystic powers, how to make planes, how to make missiles. But Spiritual knowledge he didn't touch because otherwise he could have recognized Ram is God.
He thought himself to
He
be
didn't.
God.
Yeah, so he was kind of Pandit, but he was all wrong. So, what's your question? So,
No, since you said that.
So in that sense-
God, you need knowledge.
no, but that's not knowledge. But then that's not knowledge. Yeah, he didn't have knowledge of God. He took material knowledge from scriptures. Scriptures has both kind of knowledge, no? He took material knowledge. All this Meghnath, Indrajit, they were doing all this puja, no? They had mystic powers. From there got this knowledge of mystic powers from Vedas. That's the only source from Rishi Munis and all those. But then they were not taking real, complete knowledge. Spiritual and material both. Vidyam, avidyam. Then you come to completion. So that was the whole problem with it.
Ravana was a great devotee of Shiva, right? So
Yeah, he was a devotee of Shiva. Mostly devotees of Shiva are killed.
that shows a lack of knowledge.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Mostly all devotees of Shiva, they are killed in the end. But there's no devotee of Vishnu who is killed. And that's a song of Vadiraj. One song he says. He says, you count all devotees of Shiva. Ravana? Who else? Manasura? Hiranyakashipu?
He is Lord Brahma.
He did tapasya of Lord Brahma, but they are all mostly devotees of Shiva.
But
So they
Banasura got
die.
saved, right, bro?
Banasura, Krishna left him because but he was about to kill him. But Vishnu's devotee, no problem. So there is a whole book written by one of the great devotee in South India, and he has written a book on how Vishnu is supreme and Shiva is not supreme. And he gives this example. Tell me one devotee of Vishnu who is killed. Tell me one devotee. There's no.
But apparently, Degnat has a brother that was like a devotee of Vishnu, but
Who is that?
I forgot what his name was.
If you forgot, then I forgot. Forget it.
In Siya Ram, they showed in the Hindi version.
Serials you forget. They are all useless serials. Serials is all wrong. They have entertainment thing. Don't rely on serials.
So Prabhu, again I'm going to continue the question Prabhu asked. So how do we avoid the tendency of becoming a scholar rather than knowledgeable who has realization of knowledge?
How do we avoid that? By taking association of devotees. If we take knowledge without association of devotees, then we end up becoming a dry scholar. And we get proud, and there's a problem. So that is why we should take knowledge and also associate with knowledgeable devotees.
Yeah.
So we'll never get proud. Otherwise, you are right, there are chances of, you read so many things. I mean to say, there are so many devotees who do 𝗦cie. It's a good course. It's very nice. It's a course there and you can read. But many of them, after reading 𝗦cie, they come, they cram these verses, Gita and Bhagavatam, and then they're out. Their mind is out. Because simply they can, the verses they can quote left and right, and so that's okay. But that's why simultaneously we need association of devotees, and also we need, if we are taking a lot of knowledge, then we also should do menial service. Menial service? Menial service?
Being humble and doing services which are typically considered low grade.
Yeah, that we have to do. Otherwise, because when I joined ISKCON, so I mean to say, from beginning, I was little intelligent, and I had a lot of interest in knowledge and reading books. So when I joined, I went to Maharaj. So Maharaj told me, okay, first thing you have to do is clean toilets for 1 year. So I told, then when will I read? Maharaj said, I'm preparing you for reading. otherwise you'll go in sky. Maharaj told you'll go in sky. So you have to go down first. So that's how it goes. Ramanuja, Parashar Bhatt came. Parashar Bhatt, you don't know, you know Parashar Bhatt, no? Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya? Yeah, he's Alvar. Yeah. His son, Kuresha's son. And he's Parashar Muni. He's like the greatest of saints. Now, when he went to Ramanuja to learn knowledge, Ramanuja said, first you become a servant in somebody's house for 1 year. You beg and eat, and you have to do a menial job in somebody's house. And then I'll give you knowledge. Otherwise, you will become proud. So these two things have to go parallel. If we are taking knowledge, that's required, must, and so you take association of good devotees, and always do some menial service. That's a very nice thing. So we are saved by that. That's all.
Prabhuji, one question. We're talking about different grades
Yeah.
of devotees.
Yeah.
And devotee who are like Hindus, pious Hindus who go to the temple. What about other religious people like Islam and Christian?
Yeah, they are. If they know their scripture, they are good devotees. Quran is a bona fide scripture. Bible is a bona fide scripture. If they know their scripture, they are okay.
But they don't know Krishna is God.
No, but then Krishna, Jehovah is same as Krishna. Allah is same as Krishna. They're different names. But we know that's Krishna. That's Vishnu. So it's the same God addressed with different name. That's all. And how do we know this? He is Vishnu himself, because many of the Sufi saints, mystic saints, Islamic religion, and many of the Christian mystic saints from Kabbalah and also Greek Orthodox people, they have been revealed the vision of God in their meditation. I was showing that book I was reading, Saint John of Cross, Saint Teresa of Avila. They were revealed in their meditation that God is of blue color. Now what do you say about that? And he travels on a bird. Who is that? Vishnu. They were revealed this information and they've written in their books. And many Sufi saints have written. So one of the Sufi saints is, I was telling that Lalit, Kashmiri Sufi saint, she was a devotee of Allah and also Shiva previously. But of course, then she left Shaivism and she became Sufi. Allah's. She was doing, and she was. If you go to Google and read about her, Lalit or Lali, they say Kashmir saint. So she did, and in the song she has written that I did devotion of Allah and I had darshan of Vishnu. She said that. She said I saw God with blue color on this, and she understood that it's the same. So if you really read all these saints, you will know that they're worshipping same Vishnu, but they're a different name. That's all. So their books are, and I mean to say, you don't even need to know these things. If you read Quran and if you read Bible, simply if you read them, automatically you understand that that's truth. The message is same. Anybody who has done a neutral study, Gita, Bible, Quran, everything gives the same message. It's absolutely same message. There's no difference. Some procedural difference might be there. Some details might be different. How to worship, how to sit, and this and that. But principle is the same. That's fine.
So, since we come across, let's say, a Christian devotee or Muslim devotee,
Yeah.
and they are talking like really knowledgeable about their scriptures, which I don't have any knowledge of. Do I now start bowing to them, like treating them with reverence?
Yeah, first
They
you
could
have
be really a
to,
first
no,
time.
first you have to decide whether they're first, second, third in their own thing. If they have read their Bible and if they are scholar in Bible and if they're really fixed, then you can pay obeisances. They are doing devotion to God. Devotion is not our monopoly. So that's okay.
I thought like
We do.
they don't believe in our God. So
Our and their, that's again human thing. That is all ignorance. Our and their God, no. That's the whole point there. Man divides, but it's all the same. Of course, you see, we understand.
Allah is also the messenger of God, right? So
No, Allah is not messenger of God. Come on. No.
Muhammad is messenger of God.
They said Allah
God,
is
yes.
the God. Okay. But Jesus is the son of God, so that means God is.
Yeah. No. Orthodox Christian. I see in America there is a problem. Just like normal Hindus, they are normal Christians. They have no idea of their Bible also. They're just working, earning money. If you go to real Orthodox Christians, Greek Orthodox, they clear. Jesus is Son of God, and God is Jehovah. The name is Jehovah. There are 76 names of God in Bible. Adonai is one name. And they are very beautiful names. So they understand that. But modern Christianity, they are confused. So there is a concept that Jesus is Son of God, and Jesus also has a spiritual nature. He partakes the quality of God in him. That much is okay. But if they say Jesus is God, then that's a wrong thing. That's a wrong, foolish misconception in Christianity. Good Christians, they don't accept it. So we should... so it's like that. So read the scriptures and then you will know. No problem. All right.
Prabhupada actually converted literally Christian.
Yeah, because they were not following their own thing. Prabhupada in lectures, he said that I'm not here to convert you. Prabhupada said that. Prabhupada said, I'm here to make you a good Christian. Follow your own thing properly. Why are you not following 10 commandments? And that they have lost everything. Churches were empty, they became hippies. So they say, I could do something, why? So it's not that like that. Let's talk about it.
So Bible has been changed over a period of time.
Bible is changed and not changed. It's not changed. How do you know it's changed?
No, we read from history that how there were kings who burned, and then there were many concepts that vegetarianism, reincarnation were taken.
Bible is not changed, but the understanding of Bible is changed by Constantine. He came and he passed some laws and he said that crucifixion is the way. And then all this Trinity, and then church is everything. Through church you have to go. He brought that Christendom because he was a ruler. But that's interpretation. There's nothing like this in Bible. And people who revolted, he killed them. So if you read Bible, there's nothing like that. Everybody understands. Neither Quran changed. Of course, Quran is not changed, by the way. Quran is Quran. Nobody can change it even, otherwise they'll be dead. You can't change. Quran, you can't even print. I mean to say, in Quran, if you see, if on one page there are 5 verses, you have to print 5 verses. You can't print 6 verses. It has to go like that. It's like they are very pakka in that. So they are okay. They are not changed.
Maybe they need a Bible as it is.
Huh? Bible as it is. Perhaps, yeah. But one thing has changed, that they have used the word God in English. But if you read original Hebrew, or if you even go back, if you read Aramaic, which was original language, there are different names of God used, just like Adonai and Jehovah, but instead of that, they have put God. And that has changed, definitely. So that is why original Christians, Orthodox Christians, they don't read English, because they like to chant the 76 names of God. But if you read English Bible, it's all God. So then you lose the whole stuff there. So that's one thing is there, that's why people like to read original.
It's like changing Krishna's name from just Bhuvan or there or something.
Like in Hindi Gita also they have done many times. In Hindi Gita they have translated Paramatma to Bhagwan, and we don't believe in that philosophy. For us, Bhagwan, Paramatma are different concepts, but they have written. The scholar who translated, he probably didn't know what he's doing. So that much you can tell. Okay. Anybody read Bible?
No.
Oh, you have not read? Oh, come on! You have not read your books also. So, what do you read Bible?
We read only 10 commandments.
And that they changed it. Thou shalt not
kill. Yeah. So, you should read Bible, and otherwise, how will you preach to Americans? That's why there is no American. You see, any American here? No.
Yeah.
Who? American citizen. Okay. That's why in programs they don't come because you can't connect with them. How do you connect if you talk about Bible? They had been hearing Bible because whenever I meet Christians anywhere in planes, they are there with me in malls, and I start talking to them about Bible, and they're so interested. They say, "Oh, in the childhood we used to go to church with our mothers, Catholics, so I talk Catholicism," and then I tell them Old Testament, Deuteronomy, Ecclesiastes, Numbers, Genesis, and whatever. Song of Solomon, the New Testament, John, Luke, Mark, Matthew, and they're so happy. And then they hear. And many of them took Bhagavad Gita. You keep on talking and then you tell them, see, message is same, then they believe. Because they know this guy knows. And then they take Bhagavad Gita and they join.
Prabhuji,
They come.
did you give Gita, Prabhu? You can ask them to get Bible, right? Which is same. Yeah.
That?
Giving them Gita.
Come on, then you have to keep Quran also. And then you have to keep a Chinese Zen book also. And then you have to keep so many books. What we say is, you see, Gita is special, by the way. We talk about all these things, but then we come to Gita, and what we say is, Gita is giving you principles of spirituality. Through that laws, you can understand all scriptures. You can even understand Vedas. So Gita is not a religious text. It is a text to scan scriptures. It is giving you basic principles, and that actually convinces many Americans. They say, "Oh, this is like this, okay, good." And that's Gita, by the way. Gita doesn't use all these religious terms, doesn't use specifically. So it helps you to scan everything, and then you can understand. So they say, "Okay, we need Gita, give us." So we can understand everything. And then that's how it goes. That's what if you read Gita, it's like that, isn't it? There are some basic principles, laws of life. So we give Gita.
So they are not modern Mayavadis,
Who?
other religions.
Come on. Why Mayavadis? Why you are saying
Islam,
that?
they don't believe in the form of God, right?
No, who says they don't believe? Hey Baba, you have not read anything.
Mayavadis are who don't believe Krishna is supreme God, right? I thought that is.
Yeah, but Muslims believe in form of God. Muslims, Islam says that God cannot be carved in the image of man. Simple. So you cannot give a mundane form. But they say he has a form, but we can't see it. And we can't comment. That's what they said. And that's why Prophet Muhammad, when so Allah said, "I'll show myself to you." And he showed to Prophet Muhammad himself 3 times. And once Prophet Muhammad, he did not 3 times, but 1 time he saw. And Allah said, "Well, if I show myself to you, you'll die. You can't behold my form." So he showed, and he saw Allah, and there were 60,000 curtains between him and Allah. So he could see just a light. He couldn't see Allah. And that's there. And God showed himself to Moses. He showed his back to Moses. So Moses said, "Please, why don't you show yourself to me?" It's there in Old Testament. "Please show me to your beautiful form." God said, "Okay, I'll show my form to that mountain." And you see what happens. So God just flashes himself in front of mountain, and mountain burst to pieces. And he said, "Now you want to see me?" So he said, "Anyway, but you have requested me." So he said, "Okay, see me in the cloud." And he just saw the back of God, and it was blue in color, and it just vanished. It's there in Old Testament. God came to fight with Jacob, and that's why Israel, you know the name Israel? Israel comes from that. His hip is broken. He broke his hip while fighting. So there are so many incidences. Anybody who reads, he knows that God is having form. Isn't it? So don't tell they say. This they word is very bad. The who says, they say. Who is they? So you ask yourself, when you start speaking, if you're in speaking they comes, then you're wrong. That's why if anybody starts a sentence with they, I immediately assume it's wrong. I don't hear anything beyond that.
When you go to meetings, Prabhu, you should not say they said. Because they would like to know.
In companies?
Yeah.
Oh, see, then.
They want to know.
Yeah, so many people ask me question. They say this. As soon as they speak there, I don't hear the question. I don't. Okay, keep on speaking. Yeah. And then I say it's wrong. That's all.
So if you say newspaper said no, newspaper is saying this.
Yeah, so you have to give a proper which newspaper, what the evidence, bhai. Talk on evidence, bhai. So if India, you say newspaper says, which newspaper? Gautam Ghotala newspaper of UP. Or a useless newspaper. If Hindustan Times it comes, then we can. Yeah. What are you saying?
So they did not say, but I have heard.
Who they? What is they? I'm confused.
From Allah is the 11th form of Rudra, which is a formless.
Who says that? They. So that. It's all useless questions. Huh?
Who wrote this book? He's from Iran.
No, but then what's the evidence they gave? Evidence should be there. It's written book, it's written anywhere, but who said that? We should also learn like that. Don't accept any information which is starting with they. Don't do that. And don't speak. Otherwise you'll get confused, It should be proper evidence based. Okay, this book, this chapter, this verse. Okay, now we know. Anybody can speak anything. What is this?
He has a question.
Yeah.
So how much of hearing will supplement instead of reading? Because nowadays.
Yeah.
The reason I'm asking is
No time.
acquiring knowledge is important.
Yeah, you're right. You see, people don't have time. So, of course, that's one practical concern. But there's another thing, if there is will, there is way. That's one thing. People who like reading, they read, even while traveling, and I've seen they. But if your question is, if you want to choose between reading and hearing, that's, or maybe how much it can supplement. Well, if you hear from a proper source, from a knowledgeable devotee, and if you think those devotees are talking something sense, then it can supplement a lot. It can supplement 60-70%. But it can't replace. Because Swadhyaya is different and Shravanam is different. In fact, in scriptures it says, what Swadhyaya can do, Shravanam cannot do. Shravanam means hearing. What Shravanam can do, Swadhyaya, there are two different things. By hearing, what happens is you get knowledge and your confusions can be solved if you ask questions by hearing. But what happens is, by hearing, you don't get a systematic knowledge. Because when we are speaking so many things and this and that and that. By reading books, you get systematic knowledge, because books are written. When a person writes book, he is thinking and he writes in systematic fashion. He doesn't write random. No book is written random. Because that's the purpose of writing a book. To put things systematically. So Swadhyaya makes your knowledge systematic. So Swadhyaya reading is very important. You can't replace it. But if you hear from a good source, and if you repeatedly, and if you can get question answers and solve your doubts, 60-70% of job of reading can be done by hearing. That is.
E-books, Prabhu. The entire Bhagavad Gita is read and
Oh, that audiobooks?
Audiobooks.
See, audiobooks actually you defeat the purpose of reading. Because you convert it into audio. You convert reading into hearing again. The whole point reading is you sit and read 4 lines and meditate. 1 point, 2nd point, you see it sinks into you. But if you are hearing it is audio books, again it's...
No, there is a difference whether reading or studying. Because you just...
Okay, okay, fine. Okay, if you want to say Swadhyaya is steady.
Ah.
Yeah, okay, fine. If you want to make a difference like that, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Steady. They should be
Reading,
steady.
you just read.
Yeah, you should be. The proper word is steady. You should hear and study books. Then this makes sense. Okay, so I'm done, and you're also done. You're all confused. Are you bored of it? I have books.
1 minute.
They, yeah, they are done. You're right, they are done. Okay, I just wait a minute. Prahlad, just Haribol.
Yes, to go to restroom.
Oh, okay, okay, go. Okay, so I'll just tell you this quickly. Just a minute. Just sit. Just 1 minute. Don't run here. So this is just for viewers also, because there might be some viewers. So this is one. You see this. These are some pen drives. They are new people. I just told you need to take knowledge. So you can read or you can hear. I mean to say, many things cannot be supplemented. Only hearing is different thing, because you can read 100 books, but when we speak, we put it together and speak. There is a different role of hearing also, but you can't replace your study. You study also, so it will help you. So I have made this pen drive. This is 400 hours of lecture, 8 hours of video. So you can put in your car. Mostly people hear in car. I've heard that, because they travel long distance. So you can keep on hearing, and I've spoken on many subjects like this, on entire Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, many things. And then you can ask me questions. There's a mail here behind that, and you can ask me, I can share some knowledge. It's a good way. So if you want this pen drive, you can take this. You can hear in your home and whatever. And this is in English, by the way. And these are 2 books I have. This is, one book is finished anyway. This is Crazy Ideas, because you see this crazy idea, I am God. Now I asked you, how do you check? Now you should know that. What's the difference? So all these such kind of questions are there in this book. So who is God actually? And what is Bible and Quran? Just like you are telling, they say. And Allah has no form. But then you should know what Quran says. So I have written all the evidences from Quran and the numbers, and from Bible, from all scriptures. I have given references. So when you speak, you give evidence. So you are convinced, others are convinced. So that's why I wrote this book. All are done. It's finished. So I am a scientist. I am a scientist, by the way. I'm a real scientist. I'm not joking. So not a spiritual scientist, but I'm a geneticist also. So I was a doctor and a geneticist. So my main work is to work on science. In fact, you know what? I like to speak in colleges. This congregation, okay, theek hai, chalo, ho gaya. That I speak, but my main job is that. So I go to scientists, speak to students about life, molecules, how life comes from life. It doesn't come from matter. What is genetics? What is quantum physics? What is technology? What is artificial intelligence? And what they lack, all these things. So all this is a story of life, how scientists have failed to explain life, and what is the alternate Vedic paradigm for that. So so this book is all peer reviewed. You can also see, you can do your own research, and it's in very simple words. That's why I wrote. Otherwise, it's all technical jargon. You will not understand anything when you learn about life. They'll be using big words like epiphenomenon. Have you heard this word, epiphenomenism? Okay, no. So it's a basic word when you talk about life. But I have not used this word, by the way. I've used a simple word so that you can understand what they're saying. Most of them are not saying anything. It's just words, that's all. So you can read these books, take these books and this pen drive and read it, and then keep in touch with me. And thank you very much. Hare Krishna, 𝗙cie 𝗹𝗹𝗀𝗀𝗃. Okay. Thank you for coming, all of you.